Oh my God, it's a beautiful sunset here in the city.
It's a beautiful day.
When the lights... Sorry. When the sun goes down in the city.
Fire Festival was fucked, huh?
And the fire's in the sky.
I gotta watch. I bet there's a good documentary.
There is. I watched it today, actually. The Fire Festival.
Oh, yeah?
Holy shit. That was such a... That festival was so much more fucked than I had any comprehension of.
Drop me some fucking knowledge, because I only know, like, super basic stuff.
Oh, man. So...
Because they sold... So, here's my, super basic understanding,
Yup.
right? Who is this Maria? First of all, they hype it up that it's going to be at, like, a big fucking hotel or, like,
it was supposed to be
like
on a private island
or something.
Private island that
with its own,
belonged to Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, some crazy fucking shit.
An island they lost the rights to hold the party at because the owner, the person who they bought it from explicitly, the Pablo Escobar estate was like, do not say that this is Pablo Escobar's island.
They fucking put it all over everything.
Literally
like,
the first trailer for it.
That's the opposite of what I told you to do.
Right? And it's just like, dude, how can you fuck it up that...
And then they advertise tickets at X price, but end up selling most of the tickets at Y price, which is way lower.
That was part
than what they should have been to cover costs. So they had way less funding than they should have. Off the bat,
they had influencers. Their influencers were basically given board for free.
Yeah,
which is like, wow, that was literally half of the money you were going to make
all sorts of shit
on lodging.
And then all that I know after that is like all of the musicians or whatever dropped out. Like all of them.
Pretty much, yep.
All of the like housing that was supposed to be there ended up being tents, and there were not enough.
Yep, they were leftover Hurricane Maria shelter tents.
And the same thing with beds. There were like mattresses, sort of like cots, kind of.
By the end of
but there weren't enough of those either, so people were just like stealing them.
Literally,
and then
in some of the tents they had the same blow up mattress that we have. Like blow-up mattresses at this thing.
Just totally. And then the only other thing that I think I remember seeing was some fucking people that were trying to get off the island got like locked in like a travel agency or some shit.
Yep, they got stuck there because basically there's only so many in the Bahamas. There's only so many flights in and out a day.
Right.
So it's not as easy as I'll just hop a bus and go home. Like if you go to a festival in New York, that's easy as shit to leave from if something goes wrong. Not so much an option in the Bahamas.
Yeah, on a fucking island.
Yep, they had no food or water for people. There was stuff like with like 6 days to go, they were having issues with catering, and they fired the people who were catering for them. They were getting $6 million of catering on a $1 million budget. Like they literally just didn't have money for a bunch of shit that they were ordering up.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's okay, sure, targeting.
Did anyone
die? Nobody died.
Okay.
But some of the organizers. So there was the main guy, Billy.
Because I feel like someone could have.
Someone absolutely
dehydrated him. Someone could have like
literally. So Ja Rule was one of the two people who was like the chief people behind this, and he was downplaying seriously how bad this thing was.
Yeah.
And his defense, like at one point during like I don't know if it was a board meeting or just like one of those like manager meetings, basically at the company, because there was the Fire app. There was a festival to help promote the Fire app.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And so the members, the people who developed the app had nothing to do with this festival.
Right.
Outside of the guy who owned the company and fucking Ja Rule. And Ja Rule at one point is like, hey, it's fine, guys. Nobody died. And, like, you can just feel how much everyone in that room is, like, their veins are exploding in their heads.
All of a sudden, everyone's like, that's the fucking metric you want to use?
Yeah. Like, one of the people was even like, look, what we did was basically fraud. Like, or what you did. Like,
yeah. Who we entrusted to
like the company. What the company did was fraud. And I shit you not, Ja Rule's response is, No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't call it fraud. I mean, you could call it like false advertising. And I'm just waiting, and nobody says anything, and you can tell everyone in their head is like, that's fraud. Oh my God, it's staggering. Yeah. Watching that, like, oh my God, the biggest, craziest fucking thing in the entire wild ride was there was this guy who worked with him, like, who he'd known for like 4 or 5 years, and like they'd kind of worked in a fairly professional capacity. And the guy
worked with who?
Billy.
Okay,
Billy is the guy who
is
the main guy. Yeah, and vouch for him was like, look, he's good. He knows how to like get out of tough situations with this stuff. Just give him a little more time, kind of thing. Frequently, up until stuff started really hitting the fan, and then he was kind of like, uh oh.
Yeah.
But at one point, they had a bunch of water, like truckloads of bottles of water that were being brought to the festival. And so this guy that was working with Billy was covering, there was like a regatta event that was also going on in the place that they moved to, because they had to move away from the island. But there's some like crew, like this huge crew event that happens in the Bahamas. Literally.
So like boating.
Yes, yeah. Someone just defined it as being like, literally when this happens, the population of the island doubles. Like, that's how huge of an event this is. But so he went to do that for 2 days and came back and found out that while he was gone, the water had been held up at customs. And now they wanted $175,000 to release the water from customs.
What?
Because I don't know what the exact reason for it was. I think it was because no one claimed it.
It sounds like extortion, but
I think it had something to do with like no one claiming it, and they had to process it and all this stuff. Like, not great, but it was also like, I could understand why like several truckloads of water would cost money for like to get back from them, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess.
But so this guy's been dumping lots of like his own personal wealth into this festival when like the times have been tough. So he's been sticking his neck out a ton already. And he finds out that, like, oh, they need $175,000 to do that thing. And I think the assumption was, like, all right, so, you know, we presumably have money in the budget to, like, handle this. But then he gets a phone call, and it's wild hearing this guy describe this, because he is way less pissed off than I think anybody ever should be. And I'm sure part of that was the shock of the moment compared with, you know, the benefit of it being in the past now. But Billy calls the guy up and says, look, I need you to take one for the team. And I believe the phrasing he used was, you're our big gay leader, so I need you to go to the customs office and suck his dick so you can get that water back for free. And I'm sitting here like, I'm watching this documentary while I'm doing like work. And I'm just kind of like, you know, paying attention to stuff here and there, and that happens, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I just stopped everything. I'm like, holy shit, what?
This is his buddy?
This is his buddy, who we just asked to fucking fillet a customs officer for water bottles instead of paying $175K for a festival that has cost millions of dollars at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy shit.
Jesus.
The guy's like,
they got their fucking asses sued off, right?
Billy did. Billy got, I think it's 6 years in federal prison, which is way less than, I mean, it's fraud. It's not like fucking murder or something, but still. And he's also been banned from serving as operations or director for any kind of like organizations.
People couldn't get reparations from like the company that like.
That is part of what's been going on as well. A couple of the higher up folks. There were people who were like, we had no idea what was going on with this, and we put our personal money into it, and now we're personally liable for a bunch of these things.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to me when like, so like that guy Billy is working for this company, right?
Oh, he runs the company. It was his company.
But I mean, but still, like, I would still say that's working for the company.
I suppose.
Like, I don't know how it works out legally, but
he kept the rest of the company pretty well in the dark.
So if he owns it, okay, whatever. But then, like, when shit happens, only he gets sued, and you can't get money out of the company itself. It just seems really odd to be like, well, you know.
Oh no, I think the company I think also got sued, but I think he personally was like specifically liable for some of it. I don't know exactly how it worked. It's just one of those
things where I'm no legal expert, of course.
Yeah.
But like I wonder where, because it's that weird line where like a company is a person, except when you try to sue things, then
it gets tricky. Yeah, there's a lot of
a living person. It's just weird.
It wouldn't have surprised. There was literally like in that board meeting that happened after the fact, people that were at the managerial meeting. Leadership meeting, I guess is technically what you'd call it. But like the people at the meeting, one of them was like, okay, so we need to talk about some things right now. So first of all, we need to change the name of our app. We can't be associated with this festival or no one will ever use us ever again.
I mean, that's true, yeah.
And like the justification being like, the app had nothing to do with the festival other than like the festival was designed as a branding thing. So they're just kind of like, we need to change the name of the app because otherwise this is going to follow the app forever, even though the app had nothing to do with it. After one of their like Zoom meetings or whatever, Billy gets off the phone. Everyone else is still sticking around, and someone on there is asking like, "Are people still here?" And like, yeah. Like, okay, so I did have one more question. Has anyone else, other than people I've talked to specifically already, has anyone else been approached by the FBI? Because now the FBI was handling this because this was like a major like $1 million fraud case. With like international shit going on too, and like it was crazy. He was involved in so much fraud because he was like overvaluing a lot of shit too, and like intentionally, like it's just the like basic ass like scheme fraud shit where it's like, this island's worth $8.4 million and it's actually worth like $1.5 million, and I've got $2.65 million in Facebook shares, and he had 50. I could get more shares in more monetary shares of Facebook right now than he had. Like, so weird. It's so weird. And then there was a whole thing. Ja Rule was like, apparently last year was trying to get it started again. Or like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, let that shit die. Holy hell. It's wild. I highly recommend it.
Why would you try to do it again?
I don't even. Like, I don't know.
Everyone still fucking remembers.
Yep.
This was, when was it? 2012?
This was. I think it was 2015. No, it was pretty. It was more recent than. Because like Instagram was a big part of the push.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was all right.
It might have only been like 3-4 years ago.
I mean that makes it even worse to try to redo it already. Like,
but yeah, the documentary is literally called like Fire, like the greatest festival that never was, or something.
Yeah, is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
I'm gonna throw it on sometime and
literally watch it today.
Yeah,
it's fucking mind blowing. Oh yeah, the friend did not have to suck the guy's dick. He was like, the customs officer was actually very charitable and was like, I'll do it for free.
I don't want all these people to dehydrate and die.
Yeah, it's like, just pay us first when this is over.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time for some Lethal Highway.
We'll bill ya.